Hey, hi, my name is Chris. Every day I'm doing a video for 1,000 days, every single day, guys, and it's something that I'm really enjoying. So if you're not subscribed, a subscribe will be absolutely awesome. And every day I talk about something completely unique. What I'm going to ask you today is, if you've had a bad relationship, are you somebody that doesn't want to get back into another one? Has a bad experience of a relationship affected you? And will it stop you ever getting with somebody again, getting into a relationship? So I think it's important to say that people do have relationship experiences. When you're younger, you have this drive, if you like, to want to meet people and experience different things. And I think as a young person, it's almost necessary to discover not only yourself, but the riches of what life has to offer. And that could mean meeting somebody new, the opportunities that may bring, traveling with them, going to a different place, living with them. So when you're younger, I think at different stages in your life, that can present in different ways. But I think when you form a relationship from maybe an early age and you stay with that person for a while, and it may be several years, and it might be that you separate from them. Now, if you're in a position where you separate or divorce from somebody, do you necessarily think about getting into another relationship? And I guess it all depends about your feelings. Some people check out in a relationship years before they actually divorce or separate. It's true, they do. There's normally a phased run up to it. I was married for 13 years, and my ex-wife came home one day and said that she'd been having an affair. I think for me, I'd emotionally narrowed myself, so the impact of that wasn't massive. And I've felt very often that I should have kicked off and screamed and be angry, but I never did any of that. And maybe that's a reflection on me and my very narrowed or dwindled emotional stance in terms of the relationship at the time. So for me, it didn't take a massive leap for us to sit down and talk about things and reach a conclusion about where our relationship was going. So we did that like grown adults, and I think if you can do that, that says a lot about you as a person, and in spite of their behaviour, you can reach an agreement as two sensible grown adults without becoming aggressive or violent or anything like that. And once our relationship had our physical sort of time together had ended, it was very, very amicable. We'd obviously separated our finances. We went to the bank and paid off all our respective obligations. And dare I say it, we ended it as friendly as we could. But moving on from that, I didn't feel a rush to get into another relationship. And I've not married since then. And I've had, obviously, partners. But I don't feel at this stage that I'm desperate for a relationship. I think one of the things that happens when you get older is that you don't necessarily want to rush into something. And I think that people who do rush into something maybe need to take some time for themselves. But having a bad relationship, having a relationship come to an end for whatever reason, is it necessary for you to leap back into another one straight away? I think once the dust settles, you have to say to yourself, have a bit of your time. Now, there's no clock on it, is there? There's no right or wrong. Somebody could divorce one day and meet somebody, say, weeks or a week or two later. It happens. It sure does. And people form very successful relationships from that position. But I just think we should have time for ourselves to let the dust settle. In doing that, I think you top up your individual tank. You fall back on your resilience, you fall back on who you are as a person, and you strengthen your position so that maybe if fate and timing and everything else declares it so, it may be that you're ready then to commit to another relationship. That is indeed, if that's something that you want. Because a lot of people, when they come out of a difficult relationship, when they've got their newfound freedom, when they have their independence, it's something that it's so difficult to give up. Because when you're on your own, who have you got to answer to? You've got absolutely nobody to answer to. No one. And you really are your own boss, your own person. When you're in a relationship, there's that consideration for somebody else. There's that need to involve the other person, because that's the right thing to do. You're in a relationship after all. I think leaving a relationship sometimes, for a lot of, well, I say for sometimes it's necessary for people to have their independence, and for some people who taste independence and have it for quite a while, the longer they do that, maybe the less time they need to be in a relationship. They don't look for it. They're not invested in that prospect, and they like having their own space, their own time to do things. I mean, the benefits of having that independence when you come out of a bad relationship is you can do whatever you want, can't you? You don't have to answer to anyone. You can go to bed when you want, you get up when you want, you get up in the middle of the night and put the TV on. You can just do whatever it is that pleases you. When you're in a relationship, there's that natural consideration you have for the other person because you love them and you want them to succeed, and you don't want to do anything that causes them upset. And I think if you recognise that, that's something that maybe a singleton, a person on their own who has their independence, isn't prepared to give up. I think when you sample both sides of the fence, yeah, I can see how both sides have their benefits and flaws. And for me, I'm on my own and I'm enjoying the singleton prospect, being young, free and single. Well, forget the young bit. Come on now. And I am enjoying the prospect of making these decisions that I make on my own. I am excited to consider travel this year, and because I'll be vlogging right up until May 2027 every day, I think that's a great prospect to bring you guys along with me, and you can see and witness for yourself what I'm doing, who I'm meeting, what's going on. I think I'm really excited about that, and I'm really excited that you guys get to see that because it's great, and I think it'll be great for you guys to have that window in on my adventure. And who knows, by then, I could be looking back at this video and saying, Chris, you know what, you didn't stay single too long. But coming out of a bad relationship, do you necessarily need or want to look for something else? And if you don't, I guess that's entirely up to you. And it doesn't make it the wrong thing. There's something about this society that tends to look down on people if they're on their own or single. What is it? What is it about that? I just sense that. I really do. And when I'm single now, I'm feeling the fact that, people think, you're on your own. Well, look, I've got an extended family. I've got sisters and brothers, and I've got a son. And you can fill your life in other ways. There's a multitude of things that you can fill your life with, and people. So it doesn't necessarily, being alone doesn't necessarily equate to being lonely. So coming out of a bad relationship, I think it's necessary to have some form of independence and some form of you time. But I thought I'd explore that theme today because I just think it's important to have a discussion. But I'm really interested to know what you guys think. Have you had to take time out for yourself? Are you still taking time out for yourself? Was the painful separation and breakup of that relationship so bad you didn't want to commit to anything else again? Like I say, I'm really curious to see and know what your opinions are. So as always, this is a daily vlog. I'll be back again tomorrow with something completely different. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you're not subscribed, a subscribe would be awesome. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye now.